When you speak up about something like this that has happened to you, it becomes a community experience. It belongs not just to you, but to everyone, because they become part of the solution.
A 33-year-old Toronto woman is speaking out after she was attacked on the city's West End near Hyde Park. She is hoping to warn other women about the disturbing incident, and she's not alone. Police are now investigating a series of violent assaults on women in and around the city in recent weeks. A frightening assault so close to home. Abigail Gamble was on an evening walk in her neighborhood when she heard someone run up behind her.
He was racing up really close to me, which surprised me. I thought he was maybe a jogger. So I turned halfway to face him to see what was going on, and that's when he immediately punched me in the side. I put up my arm in self-defense and turned to face him, and he tried to punch me again, this time aiming for my face.
She managed to block the second hit and started yelling at the man, who then ran in the opposite direction.
I was just reacting. I wasn't really thinking about what was going on. I was just upset and angry. It really just seemed like he wanted to cause me harm.
Since she shared her story online, other women have come forward with similar experiences. Police now also investigating a second incident in the same area the night before. In that case, the man threw a soda at a 36-year-old woman before he fled. The suspect in both incidents is being described as approximately 5'9" with an athletic build and black hair. And there have been reports of similar attacks in recent weeks around the GTA. In Scarborough, police say a man tried to attack a woman with a hammer while she was walking through Heather Heights Woods Park. The suspect in that case is described as a male, black, in his 20s, approximately 5'8". And in Ajax, police releasing details this week of 3 women who were reportedly grabbed by a man while they were walking or running on Millers Creek Trail. In the most recent incident, a 50-year-old Ajax woman was jogging when she was approached from behind by a man on a bicycle, who then touched her inappropriately before pedaling away. The suspect in that case is described as a male with dark complexion, about 15 to 20 years old, medium build, short black hair with spikes on the top. In the meantime, Gamble is grateful for all the support she has received since sharing her story, and is touched by the number of women who have shared theirs as well.
It's made me far more aware that this wasn't a singular incident, and also it just makes me want to use my voice as much as possible to call out people who commit violence against women.
In all cases, police are asking any witnesses or anyone with information to come forward as they continue their investigations and search for the suspects. For City News, I'm Tina Yazdani.
Remember, when you see news happening, snap a pic or video and send it to us at citynews.ca. If you have a story like this one that needs to be told, contact us and we'll look into it.
For the second weekend in a row, a statue commemorating the namesake of Ryerson University campus has been vandalized. The new incident covering the statue in green paint. Last weekend, during a Black Lives Matter and Defund the Police protest, the same monument and one of King Edward at Queen's Park was defaced. Last week, 3 women were held in police custody and charged for the vandalism. In a statement earlier this week, the school responded by saying, in part, in the words of our statement on freedom of speech, Ryerson does not avoid controversies, difficult ideas, or disagreements over deeply held values. Police are also on the lookout for a suspect they say is responsible for a hate crime at Finch subway station. Investigators say that back on June 11th, this man left pieces of cardboard around the station with derogatory messages written on them. They say the suspect is 20 to 25 years old and is wanted for a hate-motivated criminal offense. Police are also asking anyone who can identify the suspect to give them a call.
Outrage over the presence of militarized federal agents in Portland, Oregon, erupting across the country. From New York to Los Angeles, protesters marching this weekend in American cities that face the same fate as Portland, where round after round of tear gas, tensions on the streets have boiled over.
We can't just allow anyone to play police in our streets, in our neighborhoods, when they don't know the first thing about our city. That's a recipe for disaster. And that's what you're seeing playing out in Portland.
But police say what started with people gathering peacefully led to injuries and arrests. Authorities declaring riots in Seattle, where some in the crowd set fires. In Oakland, a police station damaged. Officers blinded by lasers and struck with projectiles. And in a Denver suburb, a protester firing a shot after a Jeep sped through a Black Lives Matter march for Elijah McClain, the young black man whose walk home from a convenience store
Stop, I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious.
Ended in a deadly encounter with police. His death, like so many others across the country, has come to occupy a central place in the battle for Black lives. The epicenter, Portland. 59 straight nights of protests here over the police killing of George Floyd have sometimes devolved into chaos.
I need to go to the hospital, please.
President Trump, not happy with the unrest, sent in federal agents who have been accused of evoking images of a secret police force. Trump has said he could send up to 75,000 such agents to other cities who don't want them there. His chief of staff defending the move.
In Portland, we have federal agents there that are protecting a courthouse that actually has not only been vandalized, but they're trying to burn it down. That's very different than what we're doing in Chicago and New Mexico.
He says the goal in those cities is to drive down violent crime. But Chicago's mayor says it's a dangerous cliff.
We will not tolerate unnamed agents taking people off the street, violating their rights, and holding them in custody. That's not happening here in Chicago.
For City News, I'm Caryn Ceolin.